for Gibernau either, so Arbe claims second position, and then Roberts, just an insult to injury there for Sete Gibernau, goes through on him.
Gibernau had to sit it up on the way in and on the way out of the corner. He lost position both times, but how much grip have these guys got in the rain? I mean, most racers wouldn't want to ride like that in the dry, but here are these guys with really nasty conditions on a track that's never been known for its fantastic wet grip, and here they go on the inside. Laconi again has to sit it up as Joe McWilliams puts that Aprilia where it has no right to be, right up the inside, and that's through on him and unsettled Laconi going down the straight now, which has opened him up to a bit of an attack from Valentino Rossi, but still somehow the Brazilian Alex Barros is leading.
Valentino Rossi now goes through on Sete Gibernau as well, so really just get our heads around what's happening. Alex Barros is still leading this race. Sete Gibernau dropped right back down to 7th position now. It's Barros from Arbe, Roberts in 3rd position, McWilliams in 4th, then Valentino Rossi now into 5th as he goes through on Regis Laconi, but Rossi runs it wide coming out of Melbourne. And then you can see Nobuatsu Aoki has actually got past Gibernau, so I wonder if Gibernau has a problem there. Apart from the fact that it's raining, it's damp, and it's really difficult conditions
out there. And he's now
there.
got 8 bikes worth of spray going in his face. I think that probably doesn't help at the moment, but he's not giving up at the moment. He's right on the back of Aoki, and he should have the power to get past going to straight. Then Arbe and Roberts.
Both had to think about it, didn't they, up the inside of Alex Barros there, but not this time. Gibernau takes the inside line and reclaims a position from Nobuatsu Aoki, but still the Brazilian Alex Barros in these treacherous conditions here at Donington Park, leading from Norik Arbe. In 3rd spot, Kenny Roberts. And these three at the moment just pulling out a slight gap over Joman McWilliams, and then a bigger gap back to Regis Laconi in 5th.
The last time we saw these two guys having a fight, Arbe and Barros having a fight at Donington Park was back in 1997, and it ended up with one of them going off onto the grass, and it was the guy who's in 2nd place at the moment. Barros kind of put his bike in the way and punted him off, and Arbe had to do a little bit of dirt track and stayed upright. Allegedly. Yeah, I mean, there was, I wouldn't say there was contact, but there was definitely nowhere to go for the Japanese rider, who has already won a race this year, and he's looking to get another one. Has he got the power to get down the straight as he lines up behind the Brazilian Alex Barros?
So they head down to the S's one more time. We've got a front 4, and then a gap back to Valentino Rossi in 5th. Gibernau trying to reclaim a couple of positions. Roberts thought about it there, but Arbe closed the door straight away on the American. It's turning out to be a fine race. Normally in wet conditions it really can get spaced out, but not today at Donington Park. Really all bunched up and tight, chopping and changing positions all the time. Still, with 2/3 of the race to go. There's McWilliams. The home crowd will be rooting for him to pull along, to try and hit the front in this one. It's a British rider on the podium. I think it'll be for the first time since 1987, and that was in an 80cc race. So you can see when they come across the start-finish line, well, they have just done 22 laps remaining in this race.
McWilliams has lost out a little bit in the stop-start section, still losing out for grunt, out of corners on that V-twin. And Kenny Roberts has decided to sit back a little bit more. He had that look at Arbe, but and Arbe is now having a look at Barros.
On board with Alex Barros. Great shots these of Norik Arbe. You just couldn't see him there for a moment. You wondered, where's he gone? Where's he gone? But he was trying to make a move.
Completely alongside him, but had a second thought about it. But I'm sure he will have a go soon. Now they punch right back up. But Williams has brought them right back up in that fast section, and really using the talents of that Aprilia well. Now here we go back down. We're going to head onto the back straight under the Dunlop Bridge, picking it up, getting onto the fat part of the tyre as soon as you can. Weaving sideways. Arbe looks like he's got good drive out of it. He's around the outside, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. But he's left the inside open for Kenny Roberts. First time round he had a look. Second time round, the guy who finished 2nd in last year's championship moves through into 2nd place in this British Grand Prix.
Started to show a bit of his class, isn't he, in these conditions, Kenny Roberts Jr., not making any mistakes and picking off riders when they make the errors. He's seen a couple of gaps open out in front of him. At that time at the S's, before that it was at Melbourne when he went through on Sete Gibernau, and he's just feeling his way into the race gradually. And the championship leader looking very good here indeed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made a move soon on Alex Barros. But Barros hasn't made too many mistakes. Saw his foot slip off the foot peg a couple of times. And the Honda Pons team look on. There's crew chief Ramon Forcada. Cito Pons, of course, as well. Watches on from pit wall. But Roberts does make the move through and into the lead at Redgate. Suzuki Man leads the British Grand Prix.
I would have thought he would have taken a little bit longer to do that, maybe sized up Alex Barros for a bit longer, but he obviously knows what he's doing. He obviously feels like he's got the grip and he's got the pace, and already he's making a move just like Jeremy McWilliams.
Watch out for this at the old hairpin.
At the old hairpin, very nicely done. Puts that Aprilia completely in the way, block pass. Now he's on the back of Alex Barros. He doesn't want to see Kenny Roberts get away and streak off into the distance. He wants to stay with him because Roberts now looks to be the man with the pace.
Yeah, slight gap opening up between Roberts and Barros, and McWilliams has seen that. Reacted to it straight away, didn't he, by going through on Arbe. You can see Regis Laconi has dropped right off the pace now, was leading the race in the early stages, of course.
Williams, so much corner speed there. He gained a good bike length just in that one sort of 20-metre period, and he's now really pushing up on the back of Alex Barros. I just don't think he's got the pace.
Doesn't have it down the straight here, is he? To be able to get close enough to make the move. He's going to have to do it in that fast part of the track, where he can carry the corner speed on that Aprilia. He's tight in behind Alex Barros now as they head down to the Melbourne Loop. You can see he's not going to quite be close enough, I don't think, to get through at the Melbourne Loop. He's having a great race so far.
Valentino Rossi might, just at the back of our screen there, he was having a look down the inside of Nora Carbe. Oh, Williams has a moment on the way out. No, Rossi didn't have a go. Arbe managed to hold on to fourth place still, but he's definitely coming under more pressure from the young Italian, who in turn is coming under pressure from Nobuatsu Aoki, who looks to be moving up and taking fifth place away from the 21-year-old Italian, but not quite. Down again across the start-finish line. Kenny Roberts now is starting to stretch out a gap. It's got to be 0.6, 0.7 of a second if ever it was anything. It's actually a second. It's the magical second. There's my distance personal timing for you. Doesn't work at all. Barros still in second. McWilliams now all over the back of them. You can see there's definitely a lot more movement in these bikes, especially McWilliams going down there. His back end of his bike was really fighting all the way down, and he goes round outside as I say that. He's obviously fighting for good because he flies through, same place, 1 lap later, takes Barros, takes second.
So brave from Jeremy McWilliams, the Ulsterman, to go through any part of the circuit is obviously brave, but to do it at Crater Curse, diving in to the old hairpin. That really is edge of your seat stuff from Jeremy McWilliams, up into second position now. But Valentino Rossi just ran it a little bit wide there, and I think Aoki's got through on him. And yes, Aoki claims fifth position from the Italian. So the two Suzuki men making good progress. We've got Roberts leading the race, and now Aoki up into fifth position. And a Briton on the move as well. In second spot is Jeremy McWilliams. Great move at the old hairpin as they head down to the S's one more time. Here comes Aoki. Another position is it going to be? So the Suzuki's really showing that they have got to grips with these conditions, haven't they? Gradually in the race, they're really coming into it.
That Suzuki has always been a good bike if you can just ride it smoothly and take nice sweeping lines as Aoki does there. He left himself really open to an attack from Rossi Arbe, but somehow he managed to hold him off on the brakes as they headed down into the Melbourne Loop. Barros now is not done. He's got to watch out for Aoki.
Defensive line, isn't it, from Alex Barros going into Goddard's. Very, very tight in there. Doesn't want to leave any doors open because Aoki is certainly on the move.
But really, what can anybody do about Roberts? In 2 laps, he's still managed to stretch out a second and a half worth of gap. And McWilliams hasn't really been able to take anything out of him on that lap. There's just Loris Capirossi. This is a disappointing race for him. 11th position.
Just behind Jürgen van der Gulberg as well on the TS.
Aoki round the outside and then through on the inside of Alex Barros. This is great stuff.
Incredible manoeuvre there from Nobuatsu Aoki.
He is on rails at the moment. He's obviously seen what this bike can do. Runs it a little bit wide, but we have to pull that back in. But he's obviously seen what this bike can do. Knows he's got the pace to run at the front, and he's really starting to push it. This is the best ride we've seen from him.
Well, he's probably got a
very long time. Oh my word!
A bit of warning there as they go through Schwantz. But wow. Nobuatsu Aoki does hang on to third position, hangs on to the Suzuki as well, doesn't drop it. And meanwhile, Norikabe has also gone through on Barros. So Alex Barros, who led this race for the early stages, has unfortunately dropped off at the front now, and he's been relegated down to fifth position.
Aoki has had a 3 4th place already this year. Most recently come 2 rounds ago in Catalonia. That was the best ride we've seen from him in a while, but he's yet to podium on that Suzuki. He would dearly love to do it here. Get 2 Suzukis on the podium. It's been a long time since we've seen that, but they've got a good history at Donington Park. One of the favourite circuits of Kevin Schwantz, and a man who idolises Kevin Schwantz is Valentino Rossi as he goes past Alex Barros and now starting to make a move, and he's racing behind his other idol, Norifume Arbe. So it's all going on at the moment as we head back down. But what has happened to Barros? There is a slight, when you see the shots from the helicopter camera, you do see a slight dry line starting to appear, and maybe some of the riders who have gone for a slightly harder compound starting to find it's working a little bit better. You can see they're going into turn one. There's definitely a dry line in the edge of the braking zone.
Oh,
Valentino Rossi isn't in at the moment as he goes past.